Hello and welcome. I've finally spent way too much time creating an insanely complex and difficult build. It may not look like it, but we'll come back to this in another video. But with all this experience that I've gained from building this monstrosity and the sheer amount of time it takes, I have a very good idea now to start looking at other people's bases and get a really good idea of how they've constructed it, how difficult it was. So we're going to go on a mad deep dive and look at some of the very best bases that you can get in Infinity Siege that you'll be able to import yourself. All the import codes will be in a nice little folder for you. These are bases that people have shared on Discord, but I highly recommend checking some of these out for yourself to get a good idea of different strategies and builds that people have used. Creating your own base in this game is absolutely phenomenal. The amount of variety and differences you can do is endless. There's just so much, and there's going to be more and more to build on top of this, so it's going to be awesome getting into some of these builds. And if you do get anything out of this, please consider liking, subscribing, doing all the good stuff. I really appreciate your time. So let's look at some of the most craziest bases in Infinity Siege that you can import yourself, assuming you have the insane amount of materials that you need. And it is a grind. At 260 hours in this game, I've only just gotten to an M base. So yeah, it's a lot of grinding in this game. It's pretty wild, but let's do it. Let's get into it. Just one quick note before we get started. Thank you everyone who sent me their bases, who've emailed me or left any really nice comments about tips and tricks, and just been a really awesome community to be a part of. So I appreciate it. And if I did miss anyone, your base will definitely be in the next one. So with that done, let's do it. So first base we're going to take a look at is from TacticalNeko, I believe his name is, and what a build. So let's get a look and have a bit of a deep dive into this base, but let's have a look at how this is structured. So we've got a base which is pretty much just 3 levels, so quite a low ground, which has a lot of benefits in some ways for sure. A pretty realistic build, so perhaps someone that hasn't had access to some of the other sneaky ways of getting access to all the different stuff you have easily, this looks like a much more realistic build. So let's have a look. I wish I could sort of take off the red, but I unfortunately I can't, but that's okay. So let's have a quick zoom around. Now we're going to try to get through 5 to 10. I've got so many bases lined up to have a look at because they're all so incredible. But let's have a look at how this one is sort of structured. So very nice little use of this front area here. But again, as you build with all the little gun turrets that are kind of good at the start, but as you get into endgame, it's kind of getting a bit pointless to have these little guns. But they do have some good prospects of slowing enemies down or incinerating them, doing some additional different types of damage. But again, it depends what your need is. If you're trying to get through like to wave 20 on the infinity mode, the hardest one, then it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But this base, in terms of symmetry, is phenomenal. Look at this. You could halve it in the middle and it's perfectly the same. Now, I've not been able to achieve this kind of grace and level of detail because I have a very different design for my base. But let's have a closer look. Check out the link on the automaker. Holy bejeebers. Talk about maximizing the the loading of all your towers. Brilliant design here. It looks like he's level 1. If we just put on X-ray mode and we just have a little dive down here, let's have a quick look. Before we look at that level, let's have a look what he's got here. So he's got the pillar build. Oh, okay. Pillar build with batteries, and it looks like, yeah, so it's batteries, some generators here on the outside, and then tons of material crates in the guts of it. Nice, very nice. So, and he's also, look, by the looks of it, not using a floor, so he's got maximum efficiency of his batteries and well spaced as well. This is looking absolutely amazing. Interesting. He's got the pillars facing each other. Yeah, I guess that's exactly how you do it. So beautiful first and ground floor, or your engine room, however you'd like to call it. He does have some sneaky stairs here. Now this is a really good way. I don't know if you can still do this anymore because I'm having a bit of issues, but I mean, you definitely can do it. You just got to do it a little bit differently. But this is how you can run power up into your core. Now it's a really sweet way of being able to get power to any kind of level in a very small footprint. So you can see how he's stacking up the stairs and then connects to here. This is going to be the most critical part of his whole base, because if you watch, if we delete, for example, let's remove this, and that's the most critical part to this whole freaking base, right, is that one connection. So what I always make sure is I always build in tons of redundancies in my base to ensure that there is not one critical point that has the epicenter of failure. But in saying that, the enemy is going to have to punish through a lot of HP to be able to get to here anyway. So it's pretty much end game if they get to there anyway, because it would have chewed through your whole base. So it definitely works, and it's definitely not a necessity, but you can see how these little tricks with the stairs are brilliant. Now you can still do this. You just need to build it a little bit differently now, because what happens is it will save, and if you leave and come back, it will register it as being not supported, but you just reattach it. Passes the support rule, but when you save it, come back, it will trigger not supported. So just something to note there. But this is his ground floor, so very, very nice, very kind of stock standard, very efficient, beautiful, beautiful base here. Just have a quick look. He's got a ton, an absolutely mental amount of extra little bits here for your base, so that's great. Now let's just take a look at the next level. So the next level is your level 2, which is mostly, for the most part, just your weapon systems on the outside, and then we enter into what seems to be an actual inside area too, where you can use an access where we can go in and check out some of the conveyor belts as well. But nice little setup here. He's got a nice little protected area. Only downfall about this sort of space is that could be used a bit better. There could be other things you could use this for, but it operates as a very nice little easy accessible way to your core, which is very, very nice. So nice and easy to get in and out, which a lot of people like. I don't mind having a base that's a bit difficult to get to the core if you can maximize other different efficiencies. But look at this conveyor belt. So let's have a look. Everything is feeding from here. Okay, so he's got quite a few ammo loaders, so this is quite nice. Now, because ideally you want this to run in one or both directions so it can recycle. Okay, so it all just leads into one. What's really cool is where you have the bases where it cycles throughout the whole base and you lose very little build, or you get very little build up. Eventually you'll get too much build up because you'll be producing too much, but again, you'll need to micro that and manage it. But it looks like he's got the exact same setup on this side. So very, very cool, and like a very good use of the belt system. The only thing is it does take up a lot of space. I can't technically talk, but the crazy thing is, so it's feeding so many guns that this thing will, and we're going to go test it, is going to need a ton, absolute monstrosity amount of ammo. Now, what is feeding, and it only has one to the Hellfire, but still, what a base. Love the symmetry, quite simple and low to the ground. Now, I like to put my 406 mils on as high as possible to get as much reach and distance. So just within this short, small build, it's already got a value of 1.3 mil. So that's saying a lot. That's a lot of stuff still. And it's got a huge core power, and it's also got a very nice power. So just a pretty insane, well, tight, small base. Like, it's not utilizing much of the floor. So you can go up so much higher than this. You can go up to just about before you hit the lights almost. And you've packed in so much. So absolute stunning base. But we'll leave it here then for this base. It's a really, really nice looking symmetrical base, easy to access, of great ammo system, tactical. Very great work. Okay, and this next base is from SilverCege or SilverCege. I could be wrong on pronouncing that, but we'll just have a quick look at this from the nice sort of pretty perspective. Again, very nice symmetry within this base. Interesting use of the triangled platform there, and we're just going to give a quick whirl of it. A ton of Hellfires. Oh my gosh. Now, it's going to be interesting to see if these are all connected to an actual auto loader, because he's got some gaps here which look like they're very nice and well hidden behind the wall. So this is going to be a nice little different sort of way of doing it. Always fascinating how people get their auto loaders and belt systems into work. We'll just skip into it and have a closer look now. Now, we're getting some of these errors. Do note there have been some of these updates which will cause some of these things to be required to be reconnected. So just say, for instance, if we have a look at this bad boy, quickly pick it up and drop it, and it should be fine. Yeah, so there's just some of these areas, but look at this. This is sensational. So my only issue with bases like this is they're built so low to the ground. The best way to utilize your Hellfires is to get them as high as possible to really get into there and utilize their range. But check this out. So he's been able to build this half off and in the zone. So what I like about this is that he's been able to completely use pretty much the max coverage of his base, some punishing Hellfire turrets, and he's got a nice easy access into the front there. Only downfall is that the range is going to be so much limited in terms of what you need to clear because it's only on the ground floor. But in saying that, he's got a very, very nice little belt system. If we have a look in here, these belt systems are very, very efficient. So doesn't get much more efficient than this. What a fantastic belt system. Holy, look at the ammo. Holy bejeebers. That is a lot of ammo makers as well. And this is easily going to be able to maintain and feed these Hellfires at any kind of difficulty. So this is top notch, very simple. There'll be no real marginal area or difficulty feeding all these Hellcats with this system. This is a beautiful built-in system. Now, one wonders, where is his, or let's have a look at his ground floor, see how he structured that. So what I like about this is that his first floor within the core is where he's put a lot of his it's called material storages and his batteries, but he's also put not much down here in the base. So this is nice. So this is a bit different to what you normally see, where the engine room is always on the ground floor. This is very unique in the sense that it's not. This is the main belt system that feeds this entire base ammo for the automation aspect is just ground floor. So a very beautiful, nicely structured base. This would have also taken, just like the last one, so much time. Got a nice little, very organized, good room in here. I always wondered, do the grenade healers work when they're inside? Let me know in the comments. I can't remember if they do. But check this out. Very well designed for a ground floor. The perfect system. Feeding. Okay, not all of them are reached, so some manual loading required, but the sheer amount of Hellcats makes this absolute insanity. The firepower in this would easily get you to level 20 on your insane infinity mode. Absolutely, I'm pretty sure it would be a no-brainer. But moving up from the ground floor, we move into the next room, which is another belt system, which goes perfectly around. So he's got 2 levels with 2 different belt systems. Maybe this is where some of these other ones on the corners get reached? No. Okay, so they just won't have any connection to the autoloaders. But that's just, I mean, you don't technically need them. These things are, there's enough getting fed tons of ammo. But another beautiful belt system in here. Now, I'm guessing because this is an earlier build, the luring, the thing that gives you a power boost, a damage boost, might not be or been around when this was first in conception. Not 100% sure, but that's one thing you could definitely add to all these to make it very, very crazy. If we go up another level, we can see that there's a little bit of just some internals where you'd go and check your control tower. We go up. This looks pretty empty out of interest. Yeah, this looks a bit empty. We'll just go up one more. We find another ton of battery. I like how he's using the batteries in the center rather than just on your ground floor. You can use your ground floor in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be just batteries all the time. Interesting approach with this. So he's got these under here. What's on top of that? Something on top of that? Oh wow, he's got a built-in redundancy. If these get taken out, he's got some pre-war artilleries in there. That's pretty wild. Interesting choice. I like it though. Something a bit different. Now, the trouble is these guys are saying they don't have power. Now, I'm guessing that is because the update. Let's just see if we can reconnect it. Yeah, so it's just a reconnection. If we hold on, this is what's going on here. So the unfortunate thing about when you get these updates to some of the building is that you have to go in and then fill around and to reconnect everything. What we'll do is I won't worry about sussing out a lot of these bases in action because they are a bit older, and I think it'll be more interesting if we get some of the newer bases in the next video and have a look at those, because we'll have shell systems and different kind of builds completely because of all the new stuff that's changed. But what a fantastic build. Beautiful. One of the best, most efficient belt systems. Love how it's just the core of the whole concept of this base. An insanely powerful build here. So this next insane base is from Hacks Ungodly, or just Hacks. I think I've seen quite a few of his builds. He's been pumping out so many different ones. It'd be cool to actually get a bit of a closer look at one of his earlier versions. See how he sort of constructed it, some of the theory behind it. But you can see here, very, very nice. Bit higher. It's got a few more levels than the last base, but only by 1 or 2, I think. But some very interesting. You can see the power out is here. I wonder if that's because of the change and big change that they've released. But let's have a closer look. So another kind of similar setup where we have the belt system in the second level. Looks like it's built inside here. Let's have a look. Hold on, put x-ray on. Fortunately, everything is red. I think what we'll need to do is, if anyone does want to participate in the next video, send me an email, but please make sure that all the errors are gone so we can have a little look in a bit more detail on the battlefield, because that'd be really cool to be able to have a look at a bit more detail and see it all in action. You got another interesting belt system here. Oh, this one goes and weaves through the base. Very, very cool. Wow, it does definitely weave through this whole entire base. Looks like it feeds the whole one half of the base by the looks of it. And below that, we have all the batteries. Ton of batteries. Whoa. This is a 1.4 million build as well, with the insane power of 9,000, with the core power of 3,000. Always good to get 3,000. I think it's way better though now to just increase that as much as possible, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. They're probably going to increase these numbers or these caps because more will come out, the game will develop more. So keep that in mind in your builds. You want to get probably a good 5,000 on your core outpost just in case they do make some drastic changes. So he has, yeah, his ground floor. Let's have a look. So going from it's interesting that all these are not connected properly now. Interesting. Don't know why. Maybe because there's no actual ground or tiles. But anyway, let's move up. So he's got the pillars for his first floor. with his batteries. Second floor again is some storage crates. So your very common kind of engine room setup. And then if we go up to, I think it's level 3 or 2, we have the belt system that runs around. Neat little setup here. What would be cool is if you could turn off these areas or just turn off the red. If there's a way, let me know, because that would be awesome. Can we just hide them? That would be cool. Please, devs. But otherwise, he's got pretty much quite a modern kind of build too, because he does have a use of all the damage bonus things. I've got what they're called. Damage amplifiers. That's what they're called. But a very nice little internal system here where you cannot see the belts at all. Very nicely tucked within his huge main base, which is absolutely sensational. You can see here he's got a lot of missile silos and he's got the nuke silos. Now, I haven't actually really used these at all. Let me know if they're worthwhile. They did get a buff in the last fix or last release, so they're probably a lot more potent now. It does have a nice couple mechs here on the side. Kind of has everything you'd ever want. A nice little build here too, with how the over section of these ramps onto here looks very nice. But this is a base that has a bit less symmetry, which I really like. So it's a cool mix of how he's sort of thrown in some extra stuff at the back here. Very, very different. And an interesting choice, and it has a very unique look with all the ramps. It's very nice. It catches the eyes. Hey, this next base, which you can import as well, is from Kitteyn, I think is how you pronounce it. Now, this is a cool looking base, but it also looks very deadly because you have the ground floor and a bit higher raised up hellfires, which is going to give you a much better reach. But he's got 3 layers of them, which is just an insane amount of hellfires. Incredible. There won't be much that will be able to really mess this up, bar the lack of maybe having, if you could stick an extra 3 or 5 mils on there, that would be nuts. But let's have a quick look at this. So on the 2.5 mil mark, whew, that's a lot of stuff in this build. Core power of 6,000 with an energy of 4 and tons of materials. Let's have a look at this. So he's got absolute insane amount of stuff on here with a belt system, which looks all external. There may be some inside, but I don't think so. I think that's all going to be, oh yes, he does. That's where his ammo is coming from. So let's have a look in here. Yeah, very nice. He's got, how are those? What the hell? How are those coming through? You see those lines? Where are they coming from? So there, I don't know. That's bizarre. Not sure what's going on there. I'll have a quick look soon. But an absolute nasty build here. So tons and tons of ammo. A conveyor belt that goes around the base. It looks like it's going to be no runoff either. What I love to see in these, if it is a multi-story build, is if your conveyor belt can then drop onto your bottom so it cycles through the different levels. That's a really cool way to do it too. But an absolute fierce base. He's got 3 of the 406 mils, not the whatever I said before, but very, very hectic. So here we go. Oh my gosh. So he's got a ton of these damage amplifiers. Now, one thing I don't know is if there is a cap on the damage amplifiers. Does anyone know? Let me know in the comments if there is a cap on your damage amplifiers, or you can just have as many as you possibly can or want. But an absolute brilliant base. We'll just go down to the ground floor, have a quick sneaky peek. So this first first floor is pretty much just dedicated to the engine room type deal, so nothing out of the ordinary there. We just go up a few levels, we'll start to see things sort of come through a bit more. He's got his batteries, his supply, yeah, so pretty standard. His whole core is just decked out though. Absolutely insane amount of batteries and material crates. And then he's got his central feeder, which is nicely lined up with 2 rows of pillars with a ton of ammo. So absolutely no issues feeding all of this without any worries. Oh, is this a fall off here? No. So if we go up one to the next level, how is he feeding this? So he's got the nice little positioning of this auto loaders filled in, also supplying the second level of hellfires, which is very, very nice. So then if we move up, got his base where you can access the core coming up through the middle here. And then as we come up, yeah, we've just got the nice little 406. Now he will be able to connect all this to a shell feeder, which will make this pretty nice. But yeah, what a base, hey? Pretty crazy. You just need a lot of hellfires, but a very efficient setup for the belt systems. These sort of ones, it doesn't get more efficient than that really. Now this next one is by Hattori maybe, and what an absolute beast. This base is absolutely stacked. It is going to be hard to get more hellfires on a single base. I don't know if you can. This is pretty much the most hellfires you can pretty much fit on a base that I know of. Each level has pretty much hellfires, and it's good because it has the height as well, so it means you'll be able to really maximize the efficiencies of this base and of the damage it can deal in all the different modes. But this is probably going to be one of the highest bases in terms of value. Power at 21,000, material at 2k 200k, the core power of 10,000. Absolute nightmare of a base. You just wouldn't be able to get much more onto this. But let's have a closer look, see if you can actually get all of these belt fed. He's probably done an update and have it all completely automated. This would be a really cool one to have drip feeding, where you drip some of the or stack all your loaders on the top and let it feed down into the different levels from the top. I really like to see those kind of bases. But look at this. He's got, it doesn't look to be a limit on these because he's got so many. So maybe there isn't a limit on the damage amplifiers. But I can't even begin to count all these Hellfires on this. Is just nuts. Now, unfortunately, there's so much red displayed because of how the changes have come around, but let's just have a quick look. So he's just going to have the most decked out engine room, and let's just scroll up. So yeah, look at this. This is absolutely, the core is pretty much just packed full of batteries and material crates. Oh, damn. And we can see down here, though, we got a belt system on, what is it? Yeah, level 1, looks like it. Wow. So he's got his belt system here. If we scroll up, yeah, so this looks like it goes around, and his pick feeders are grabbing it. Wow, look how he's built his auto loaders here. How did he manage that? What? Oh, okay, this looks like a cheat. How did he do that? He's built it in overlapping everything. I don't know, that's kind of odd. It's like the rule has been broken, because there's no way you should be able to build that in there. Unless I'm missing something, let me know, guys. I don't think this is a legit... What? I could place it there. Ah, how is that possible? What? Okay, I didn't know you could do that. There you go. Let's just see if I can just... Okay, now I can't. This is truly bizarre. Hold on, don't mind me. Let me just get in there. It was sitting in perfectly in this crux. What the hell? This would have been an interesting one to see in action, because I thought if you built, and particularly these walls, if you built them in front of it, it doesn't pick things up, because I've tested that. Maybe they've changed it. How the hell? Let's just go back. There it is. Okay, so I pulled it out. Let's see if I can place it down again. What? Yeah, I can't place it down no matter what I do. I don't know how he's pulled that off. Let me know if you know in the comments. That is kind of crazy. There's some sort of way you can overlap buildings like this. You could get some insanely efficient builds, but I can't place it down like that. That is kind of crazy. I don't know how he pulled that off without like disabling some of the rules, or like, I don't know, that's nuts. Do let me know in the comments that maybe there's a way to do this, but that's, if you can get these kind of overlaps, I mean, that completely changes the games in terms of how you can build your base. If you can just get rid of the overlapping rule, because that is nuts. And he's done that with all his auto loaders. What the how? Very interesting. Let me know. That's crazy. If that is a technique you can use, let me know. If it is, I'll have to cover it in a video. So in crazy, he's got an inbuilt auto system that goes around, and let's just move up. How is he? Look at this though. Crazy. He's got his auto loaders popping up the top. Now I know you cannot do this because I've tried many a time to pop these on like this, but let me know. Maybe I'm missing something, because this almost looks like a cheat build. Please forgive me if it's not, but crazy. I don't know. Maybe this was built in the test environment, because I think they have different rules in the test environment, or they don't have rules or something like that. Could be the case. And then he's imported it over to the test, into the normal environment, because there's some things like that, perhaps. But outside that, I have no idea how you can break all these rules. It doesn't even seem to be like, doesn't seem to be actually saying there's anything wrong with this. Like no overlap, nothing. But as soon as you pick it up, I mean, it's not even red. What is going on? That is bizarre. Let me know. But anyway, in an absolutely incredible base, pulling off some very sneaky tricks, or some of the most advanced building techniques I've ever seen, but absolutely jam-packed to the brim of batteries, pillars. He's got his supply crates here, another belt system on, what is it, he's level 4, I think, and he's got, let's just see, yeah, he's done the same thing again. What the hell is going on? Absolute crazy build. Just want to quickly see, let's pull this apart. Hey, I can place this one by the looks of it. What's going on? No, I can't. Isn't it weird though that it's not going red? Very bizarre. He even had it built. Okay, so let's just place this. This is a bit of a side tangent, but I'm just curious. I can't even place it there. Got errors on the top. Yeah, there's something very weird there. Anyway, crazy base. Not sure how he's pulled some of these off. Definitely let me know in the comments if you watched this video and you know how he did it, or if the man himself is watching. That would be wild to find out how. But an absolute beast of a base with some crazy unknown techniques that I've ever seen. We'll get moving on to the next one. Now, I think I showed this base in the intro of the last video, but it doesn't give enough appreciation to how wild this base is. Now, this one is done by Commander. Phenomenal looking base, and I love how he's got some of the 406 mils or 405 mils at the top there, and he's got 5 of the bad boys. Also with the uniquely shaped sort of balcony on level 2 there with the Hellfire sitting on top. But check this out. This is an absolute beast of a base, and if you look at that symmetry too, you can split it down the middle and it's almost identical. So for those that love love that sort of symmetry. It's got everything you could possibly imagine. Now, unfortunately, it's hugely valued. It's a 2 mil build. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the power, but core power 5000, material at 86. So it's a good balance. You never need that much material because you can't even access it because you're just chewing through it so much from your auto loaders. But I really like this build because it's got a bit of everything. It uses so many different towers. It's got everything you could possibly want. And it's really just a nice one that you could use for your base yourself and just have everything covered that you need. Nice and accessible, quite a compact build. It's got a great belt system in it as well. We checked that out. It's intersecting. It looks like it goes all around. And look at this. He's got it back to the rim full of auto loaders. And by the looks of it, this just goes all the way around. It's intersecting and it looks like it feeds. Oh, this is nice. It feeds around. So it comes from, let's have a look where this one goes. Oh, so it starts here. Oh, he's got a multi-leveled one. Yes. Oh yeah, this is cool. Look at this. He got some in here. It drops, poops out a couple. Oh, and it keeps going. Does it keep going? But let's just get the X-ray on. Okay, so just follow this for a sec. I just want to see how many levels he's jumped it, because that's where a lot of the most annoying finicky parts can be. Got a lot of healing grenades too, which is nice. So it looks like it's just from this floor, which drops down onto the next floor. So he's got two little ones here. And that looks like it's going to feed this loader. And it's gonna plop onto here, and any excess will roll onto this conveyor belt down into the central system. Which then can feed through all of the whole base by the looks of it. Then this looks like it rotates around. One interesting thing here is, yeah, it looks like it goes in one direction. Now, I always thought your ammo would get stuck or jam up if you built it like this. So unfortunately, we can't test it. But I haven't tested this method where they're in a tight little hallway like this. Let me know in the comments if you can do this and have no issues with your what's it called, ammo getting stuck. I thought it would, but maybe it just goes straight through. Just want to follow this belt around and see. Okay, so he does have a dividing system. Oh, this is crazy belt system. So we got a few more in here. It comes around, splits, and it goes around the whole base pretty much, feeding all these different loaders, which are like maxed to the how many connections. What is it, 20 connections per auto loader? I think there is a max you can actually hit. Let me know if you know. I think it's about 20. But this is amazing belt system. What a beaut. I love how it drops and feeds on multiple levels. Great work of efficiency there. He's even squeezed in some mechs here. Unfortunate that the red's everywhere, but look at that little mech there. That would just shoot off. He's even got a silo on the first floor. I like that because it's something different and it's a really good placement for it, because this back corner doesn't get too much happening a lot of the time. And with two Hellfires facing the back as well, you don't really have to worry. He's also got some more mechs out here. Nice. He's squeezed in so much into the space. I'll tell you what, this would have taken so much time. I mean, they all would have taken so much time. But when you start having intricate details where you're dropping ammo into separate levels and all that craziness, it gets very, very complicated. He's just been able to sort of squeeze it all in, and it's all one structure. So the most complicated builds is where you have two separate different buildings in the sense that they're not connected, but it looks like they are. I'll show you that in my build. That's it's just annoying to, I don't know why you do that, but I did it and it was painful. But this base is absolutely stunning. Got so many little things everywhere. If you ever have all the materials, I would highly recommend importing and just having a look around. I'd love to see it in action, but unfortunately, yeah, just too many errors to fix. But it's just got the best of everything. Pretty much nothing you cannot handle with this. But yeah, well done, Commander. Let's go on to the next one. Now, this next one is from one of the legends that you probably all know if you're in the Discord, but this is from Aceofgods. Absolute legend. Thanks so much for all your help and everything you've done for the community. You've helped out a lot of people. We're going to check out his base. Ace did mention that this is not his final bases. This is just one of the ones that I got sent to him, which is nice. But we're just going to take a little look, just in appreciation to everything he's done and all the help he's given me and to the others. So we'll have a quick gander at his base. Now, he may have more complex builds. He may not. Just having a look at the three he sent me, I looked at the one which was the biggest file in terms of size, because I assume that is going to be the ultimate one. So let's have a look. So he's got a nice little first floor here, or second floor, with these Hellfires. But you can see this is much more of a realistic build. Hey, like, it takes so much time even just to get to this kind of build. I love how he's got all the drones, advanced guardians, fabricators everywhere. That's wicked. It'd be a cool little base to muck around with in real, because you'd be able to get like a little drone army, a little guardian army. But you can see it's a very different and unique build compared to others. It looks very accessible. I like how he's got the stairs up above on some battery packs. Gotta love where you do things like this where it's completely functional, but it's not how it is intended. But this is a step, and it's a step onto the battery, onto the stairs. And then you can get up onto the platform, and then he's got everything he needs on his top floor here. So what's interesting is I wonder where he accesses. He's actually built his core tower inside the structure. That is hectic. This is really nice. You don't see this too often. I was always wondering if you can tuck in your core, like have it on the bottom floor and have everything built around it. I thought you couldn't do that. Like I didn't think you could build above the core tower, but it seems like you might be able to. Let me know in the comments if you can or you can't, because if you can, it looks like you can. There you go. Okay, so you can completely encase your core tower and have it completely hidden within your base. That's pretty nice. I didn't really realize that. So this is what's cool about looking at all these people's different bases, is you can learn so much. But what a hectic build. So the core tower is completely isolated and surrounded by a bunch of stuff. Now, how would you get there? Because I'm pretty sure you have to access the second floor at least to be able to throw stuff into it. But let me know if that's not the case. I always thought you had to get to at least level 2. Let's have a look down though. See if he's got an access point. He's got some stairs there. Hugely complicated build down in the basement here. Holy cow. So going from the ground up, we'll check the core tower in a sec. But look at this. So he's got layers of armored. These walls are so tanky. They can take an absolute punishment. But as you go up, he's just got pretty much all of them jammed together. Now, these errors are pretty much, I think, from the new update, because there's a change in the connections. So I had to reconfigure all of mine. It took freaking forever, but that's probably why they're erroring. But holy cow, layers and layers of it. So we just quickly go out. So all this under here is just solid, thickest, advanced armored wall. Absolutely bonkers. That is going to take an insane amount of time to get through, which means killing his hellfires from destroying the layer under him is going to be close to impossible. Very nicely done there. So super bulky, beefed up ground floor, and this is kind of what you want. You want something very solid, and with this amount of advanced armored walls, holy cow, I've not seen anyone do that. So that's pretty insane. And let's just have a look at what else he's got here. So moving along, we've got the battery and crate rooms. So he's got a lot of the OG ones, the little crates, and then some of the advanced ones in the next level. So that's pretty cool. So something standard though that you normally see. Unfortunately, we can't get out and walk around this, because this would be nice to see how it's all working. Just ducking in to the core tower though, I'm still trying to find where he accesses it. Can't exactly find it, but maybe you can access your core tower from the top. That'd be pretty mental if you can. It's mental that he's got it encased in just a ton of crates. That's pretty funny. But let's have a look at the belt system. So the belt system looks like it is on, yeah, the same level as the Hellfire. So you can barely even notice it at first glance, but it looks like it runs around the whole base. Let's just quickly follow it along. So, oh, okay. So it looks like there's multiple independent systems. Wow. Okay. So we got an independent system here that just rotates around and feeds what looks like these two, and then the same again for here. That is pretty cool. So all these little independent belt systems just for the purpose of feeding. This one looks a bit different. So what is this one? This one looks like maybe it just runs along. Yeah, this one just runs along the back here and feeds all these other Hellfires. At least it appears to be. Yeah. Oh, and it does the same thing. It goes around. So these ammo makers must not block ammo, because it's going straight through. How interconnected is this? Yeah, it's just feeding these little sections. So that's interesting. So perhaps more an optimal system where you just have little belt systems feeding what you need more directly and quickly. So that's a nice touch. Got tons of missile silos. Well, not tons. He's got 3. Look like a lot, but it's just the 3. He's got pretty much everything you need. Mechs, tons of drones, absolute sensational base. But yeah, that's Ace's base, or one of his bases. So thanks, Ace, for everything. Let's move on to the next one. This next base is from Nano. Now, I was saving a bunch of these builds for a different video where we cover some of the more unusual designs, but I had to just quickly show you this. We're just going to quickly have a good look, but check out how this base looks. What in crazy. I've never seen someone build little like towers in a circular pattern like this. So we're just going to have a bit of a look. I'll be covering more of these kind of crazier designs in another video, but check this out. This is something different for sure. Nano has managed to build these circular towers and then chuck the 406 on there. Absolute beast. So let's have a quick look at how he's done it, because I was interested to see how he's actually been able to lay this out. Whoa, okay, check this out. How the hell has he managed that? It's got some crazy overlap. Just see if I can place it like that. How did he get that overlap? There must be a way. Maybe we place these first, and then did he somehow get this connected? Because I don't know how the hell he pulled this off. So I mean, some people have come up with some really crazy designs and somehow completely ignored the building principles. Wow, how did he pull that off? If you know, definitely let me know. I'm curious. That is crazy. So let's just go back. So if we undo what I did. Somehow, how is that overlap happening? It's not even triggering an error. Similar to that autoloader, there's got to be a way you can like trick it to not let it trigger the overlapping error. Unless this was done in the testing environment. Again, this might have been done in the testing environment. It's just like, what was it? Hang on. Yeah, they're just the normal triangle. It's not the 45-degree one. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to figure out how he did it, but it's pretty wild. However he did it, it is wild. Talk about a different look. Absolutely incredible. And this base would be pretty damn powerful too. It's got quite a good amount of hellfires. Got some mechs on the other towers. The twin barrel, absolutely crazy. And he's got, what the hell is this? Oh, this might be in the test environment. I haven't seen these lights yet. So this must have been done perhaps in the test environment because I don't think this has been released yet. But apparently we're going to be able to get these lights and attach them to stuff. Let me know if you know more about it in the comments because I don't know too much about it, but I'm pretty sure this is something that's coming or it is already there. I just haven't figured out how to get it. But yeah, what an absolute what a stunner of a base. Something very, very different. We won't look at this too much more, but incredible. Love how these towers are. This next base is from Frappuccino, I think his name is, and this is another very unique, very kind of oddly shaped with the triangle build that I've never seen. Again, I was going to cover this in a more of the sort of artistic side, but I think this is just a really interesting one to take a quick look at. So we'll do it in this video, but look at it. It's an absolute tower of doom. So many panels. Absolute. We have a closer look here. You've got an insane amount of armor. Let's have a look down to the bottom floor where we've got layers and layers of the armored walls. A very interesting like crisscross pattern of his lower floors. Look at that. Different layers all like intersecting with each other. I'm curious to see where he's put his batteries and everything. So he's got them here as well. Okay, very nice. But the main thing we're just gonna have a quick look at for this base is just this triangle. So you can see there is no error limit on here. So this is a really good example of how you can get away with breaking the no foundation limit using triangles. I'm pretty sure this is not in the test environment and anyone can do this. This is just very cleverly put together where we have a crazy amount of reach with no platforming, with no structures underneath required, none of the errors thrown up for lacking support. I just connect this all working perfectly. Now, how far can we push it? Probably not much further without using triangles. Well, actually, there we go. We can actually attach a tile to this. Still not getting any errors. That is crazy. You can almost then connect it. You can almost build like a separate little platform. There you go. We've connected it. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, so this is another really good example using triangles to be able to build out in a very unusual way. Not a lot you can do with this, but maybe down the track we'll be able to fill it out and actually build better guns on it or bigger guns on it. So just an interesting take there. This base is stacked full of all these little different oddities with a ton of little mechs here and there. I really like it. Something a bit different, unusual to the eyes, and it's got a bit of everything you need while still maintaining like a pretty symmetrical look, even with these crazy triangle builds. So yeah. Cool work there. And that was by Frappuccino. Now, I've imported so many bases. Does anyone know if there's a limit to how many you can import before it starts overriding what you have in your saved game? Because if there is, I need to know, because I really, could you imagine losing your build that you spent hours on because it replaced by another build? So hopefully that's not the case. I will keep an eye on that, but let me know if you know. So this next one I believe is from fallencantgetup, and this is a nice little build. It's a very realistic build that is pretty much achievable, very close to your end game or when you've gotten your end game. Very, very nice compact little base here. So we're just gonna have a quick look. This is one you could import without too much difficulty, except for you'd need the premium version. Kicking myself for not purchasing that. I guess I can go and do it, but I don't know how it works on Steam when you have two different versions or copies. But hey, this guy's got the wings of freedom, so I don't know how you got these. Maybe let me know how you get these. Maybe it is with the premium only, but that's pretty cool. Maybe you can build them as part of the latest patch, not sure. But a really nice base with a realistic amount of hellfires within a reasonable time frame, not this crazy 260-hour nonsense. But you can see here it is absolutely jammed with all the other things you could possibly want, with a nice little connection system here. Now it does have some belt systems going on, but it looks like it's just a very direct, which is kind of nice. And it's also got the system here with the ammo makers where he's put it close to the advanced autoloader where it can drop down and feed itself from these. So what would be curious, which I've never tested, if when the ammo gets built here, if this picks it up automatically or you have to do it manually. It's going to do it automatically, isn't it? So that's actually kind of cool. I never thought of that. That's just another way you could just, if that is the case, you could get rid of belt systems in a way. It just takes a lot more management, but it's definitely possible. I'll have to play around with that. That's an interesting idea. But this base is just jammed with drones, missiles, everything you've got, nice, easily accessible to the core tower here. And I'm guessing the bottom floor is quite nicely decked out with, we've got a mixture of some pillars with some material storage. So a very nice little base here. Very easy and access to, like a very easy base to understand and navigate around if you've not played on it before. So always going to get points for that. If someone jumps into my base the first time, they're just going to get absolutely lost. It's going to be a terrible time. But these bases are really good because they're accessible to everyone. Nice job there. Now this next base is one that I really appreciate because my base is also a bit of a mech build and it's a very technical build trying to get some of these systems to work. So it's going to be interesting to have a look at how he's done it. And this is by Gage Tyrion, I believe is the creator of this base. Now it's obviously an earlier game base. So what we can look and appreciate is the little mech storage house here. There will be another video where we'll specifically look at all the different mech builds, but I just wanted to quickly cover one in this video where we have a little launch ramp. This would look really cool. You'd launch it up, it would fly off the ramp into action. It's a nice little base for mid game. Pretty much has everything you need, and it's got a little nice like command deck. It almost looks like a boat, doesn't it? Like a ship. It's really, really neat. Nice use of the triangles here and the spring barriers. Got the twin barrel on there. Pretty incredible. Nice little build here. I really, really like it. Okay, this next one is by Astralix and it is quite the insanity. Look at this. It's got, I don't think I've seen so many of the, what is it, 406 cannons on it. What is that? It's got, wow, it's got 9 of them. That is incredible. He's fit them all on in a very compact build, really, which steps up, and he's got what, so many hellfires. Holy shivers. Let's have a look if this is all connected to a belt system. It does look like it's snuck in there somehow, but holy moly, if you want to just get a top tier damage and sanity base and you've got all the stuff, this is the one you probably want. Let's have a closer look. It's another 2 mil build with 6k energy, 6k core power, and 50k material, and definitely no real waste of space here. Maybe bar, you could fit a few more hellfires on this top flat platform, but you were running into the issue. Oh, actually, no, you couldn't because the staircase is there. Never mind, you wouldn't be able to do any more than that. But see, this is what looks legit to me when you actually have the floor missing and there's no overlap. So this is an incredible, well thought out build. This would have taken a very, very long time, just like all the builds would have. But once you've done a crazy build like this, you really, really appreciate how freaking long it takes. I think the last one I've done is taken almost 40 to 60 hours. I kid you not. It is an insane amount of work, and then that's just on top of having to get everything. But look at this. So look at the internals here. We got this crazy belt system here, which comes out, or it looks like it loops. Yeah, it does. So that's going to be good for efficiency. Yeah, so it does. It goes all the way out, and it looks like, does it come back? No, it doesn't. So this must just be for access to catch the excess if it drops, and it can catch that, go around. But let's just have a look. Does it go all the way around the base? I'm just curious to see how this all works. It looks like this goes all the way around. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Through the hole? Yeah, it does. It goes, that's a better way to look at it. Look at that. Absolutely nuts. So yeah, you gotta love these ones where it's just belt system hidden behind the core. Can't even see it. And I really like this. This is very difficult to pull off. I reckon this would have taken a long time to get this kind of finesse and build. So very, very nice. The cool thing about bases like this is that they got the symmetry. They look amazing, but they're highly functional. So it's a top tier base. This is just going to absolutely annihilate everything. The only downfall again is having the hellfires so low. If you can get them up higher, better. If you can't, you can't. But with this many 406 mil cannons, you're going to pretty much one shot Omegas, or even on level 20 on the hardest infinity mode, you'll be one-shotting them with all these. Now, the belt system for the shells probably wasn't around when this base was built, but I'll just have a quick look to see if we can find the auto loaders. They are connected, so it does look like he's got the belt system for his 406 cannons. I'm just trying to find it. Okay, so it doesn't look like this is connected to the belt system yet, his 406, so maybe that will be in the next updated version of it, but highly impressive impressive. Unless I've missed something here, I can't see it where his auto loaders are. They're just facing into nowhere, so it doesn't look like there is. But again, that's only a recent change, so this will be updated, I'm sure, which will add a lot of complexity to the build. But again, we do have another one of these where it looks like your auto loaders pick up from your ammo makers. See, I didn't actually know that. I haven't played around with them to this extent, so that's really cool to know. Good little tip there for me, which we've seen in a few of these different builds. But you can also, but this also has probably the most nuke and missile silos I've ever seen. People do this or use this so they can kill the antennas during the infinity mode, because if you kill those antennas, it skips that wave, allowing you to progress quicker and further into the infinity modes. I assume that's what these are for. Let me know in the comments if you think otherwise, but I think that's a lot of reason people that have them. I'm not too keen on the missiles. I've actually haven't even used the nuke silos, to be completely honest, because I didn't think you'd be able to use them very efficiently, because I didn't think you can auto load them. But something to consider. I'll have to have a look to see if it's how it works, how I think it is. But pretty damn impressive build. Tons and tons of drones, covers everything you need, and it's got a very reasonable stats. 2 million build. Those builds take so much time. To lay this all out piece by piece is just huge. Awesome job there from Astralix. Okay, and that's going to be it for the bases for this video. This is sort of just going to be, this is kind of a test video. Get some feedback, see how you like it, what you want me to cover. There's a few bases I didn't get to because I either needed to request access and didn't get it from the Google Drives, but I tried to cover those people that posted on my Discord post where I was asking for people to share their bases with me, so I appreciate that. The next video, I'll probably just be going through and picking people's bases that I thought were cool and worth a check out. But if you do want me to cover your base specifically, definitely send me an email. Make sure there's no errors, and I'll definitely give it a check out for the next video. But yeah, I hope you got something out of this. I definitely did. Looking at these bases is amazing. The amount of time and effort that goes into these is truly remarkable. It takes hours and hours and hours, which I love. The fact that you can build these bases, then share it with your mates, and they're all so wild and different. It's just a magic game. And the features of being able to share it, import it, export it, fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. But anyway, that's enough for me. If you got anything out of this, consider liking, subscribing. Until next time, peace.